TV. Now, if you haven't already gathered, I'm not home at the moment. I'm on holiday in Cicadas. Now, being on holiday, I have got limited camera equipment with me, and I'm really sorry about the cicadas. And whenever I go on holiday to Cicadas, which is a Greek island, I always like to take my mini JL sewing machine. But this time, I've brought something else with me. I've brought this brilliant book called No Patterns Needed. Now that's right up our street. Now, in this book, it's got lots of different projects, all based on circles, triangles and squares. The main measurements that I used for this pattern today, I focused on the Deep V Tunic measurements because we're having the front and back of this tunic, but then we're going to have the cape sleeves from the cape sleeve top. So I cut out my front pieces, which are the shorter ones, my back pieces, which I've cut in two because I'm doing a contrast thing. I've got my placket pieces, they will go something like that, and I've cut them a little bit longer than I need them, just so I've got room for messing around a bit. And also from the cape sleeve top, I've cut out my two contrasting sleeves, so I've got them folded over. And then we do the facing for the back, it seems, sort of halfway through the project. Well, it's going to be quite good fun following someone else's instructions. So let's see what she says is the first thing to do. So we're going to be dealing with this bit here at the front of the top, which is called a placket, and it's like a deep V. Now for mine, I've got a contrasting fabric on either side, of course. So once you've cut everything out, then we're at this stage here. We're going to arrange them so that they overlap each other, and the amount we have it open at the top is however wide we want the neck to be. So you do need to measure how wide you want your neck to be. I've got mine at about 16. So you're going to do it so that you have the fold on the inside and the fold on the inside, and then you go like that, and then you need a straight edge, and then you cut them off so that they come straight across the bottom. Now once you have worked out how wide you want it to be at the neck and how far down you want it to go on your top, you then follow her instructions to stay stitch your fabric together, because remember, it is two pieces of fabric here, isn't it? So you're just going to, just on its own, you're just going to stay stitch using, you know, a medium-sized stitch, going all the way down, coming across here and up. Now if you're doing this, you might want to put some interfacing inside, but I haven't got any on holiday with me, so I'm doing it without. She's working to 1 centimetre seam allowance. So I'm going to go across the bottom first. And then I'm going to turn it and come up the sides just to stay stitch those two fabrics together. And I'll go all the way to the end there, and then all the way up on the other side. So you should end up with something like that, with stay stitched along there, across the bottom and up. Right, as you can hear, the kids are back. Now the next thing that we need to do is to stitch both of our fronts together like they've done here. Now I've got contrasting fronts here, and I'm going to put my fabrics right sides together, and then using the centimetre seam allowance that she suggests in the book, you've just got to stitch all the way down there. So forwards and back, and just a centimetre seam allowance all the way down that middle seam. Now, in any other situation, I would finish off these edges with an overlocker or with a zigzag stitch, but with my limited resources, I'm going to leave them with raw edges, but I am going to press them open. So press open your middle seam. Right, we're now at the bit where we've got to lay our placket on top of our fabric and basically draw around the edge of it. So I'm going to do that now. Now I've put a little notch to show the middle of my placket here so I can definitely line it up exactly. Now you can't go any lower than that because you're going to be straightening those off. You definitely need to make sure that you've got that wide enough neck there, and then start drawing around it with the chalk. But that isn't going to be the cut line. The cut line is going to be 2 centimetres. It's going to be basically 2 seam allowances in. So if I measure 2 centimetres, like that, and I follow it all the way, then that is going to be my cut line. So that's going to become my cut line. Now make sure you do that, because if you cut it now and it's incorrect, then you'll have messed it up. So take that bit away. And then the next thing that we do in the book is that we've got to position on the right side our placket, right sides together with the fabric. So we're going to position it here, make sure that it's centered properly, and you're going to stitch along the stitch line that you've already stitched there, because then this is going to come up like that. It's just going straight. So do you see what we've done? We've stitched it right sides together, okay, and then they are going to come up like that. But in order for them to be stitched like this in the right place, you have to mite it in on the other side. So let's fold those back. Right, so let's make sure we get it to exactly the right place. So I'm folding that back, and I'm going to go right down to just that bit there. I'll do the same on this side. I don't want to go further than it. So I'm going to go down like that. And then in doing that, it means that I can get this side and I can swing it all the way round, line up the edge and stitch all the way along there. But when I stitch it, I've got to make sure I use the same seam allowance as before. Now make sure you don't stretch it, because remember, when fabric's on the cross it does stretch. And then do exactly the same on this other side as well. Okay, so you've mitered it, and so it's ready for you to then just sew from here, and on this side you can just go all the way up. Now pin it if you want, but don't stretch it, whatever you do. But you go right into that corner. Right, I know it's getting a bit dark, but can you see that? That's how we get that clean corner there. Looks great, doesn't it? So before the light completely goes, I'll just show a close-up of that, and then I'll show you one last thing we do to the placket. Right, the very last thing that we're going to do now this evening, just to finish off the front, is to cut this so it falls in a straight line, only just about, with our shoulder seams. So see how they're now in a straight line. I can really recommend this book, particularly if you're a beginner and you're scared of patterns, because it's just based on squares, circles and triangles. Now if you want a link to this book, if you just comment below and I'll give you a direct link to No Patterns Needed. You can get it on Amazon and in loads of shops. Thank you so much for watching Stitchless TV. Remember, we've got more than 100 free sewing videos for you to watch. See you again very soon. Bye.